Musician Talk with Grant Johnson, Episode 10, Studying Music at Community College. Hello and welcome to Musician Talk with Grant Johnson. I'm Grant Johnson. I hope you all are doing good. I'm sorry it's been a while since I last posted a new episode of Musician Talk with Grant Johnson, but I got really busy at the end of my semester and I thought school was more important to get done. So now it's summer, and I am hoping to have new episodes of Musician Talk with Grant Johnson out more consistently now. In this week's episode, I'm going to be talking about going to community college to study music. Many might not know this, but I went to a community college for 3 years and got my associate's degree in music. Before I started at my university where I'm at now. Community college is very small to start at, but is it worth it as a music major? The answer is very complicated because some cases it's very small. In other cases it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to start at community college as a music major. So it's very, your answer might be different from other people who have studied music at university or at community college and how they feel about it. So community college is not a bad thing at all, but sometimes you have to think about your position. What's the best for you time-wise and money-wise? What's going to work the best for you to get your bachelor's degree in music? Whether you're getting it in music education, music performance, there's a music degree, music theory, composition, in musicology, or anything like that. So, or music therapy like I am. How did I almost forget the one major that I'm majoring in? Let's not go there, but yeah. So let's get into this. One reason to start at community college is to save money. That's one of the biggest things at community college. Community college is cheap. It's a lot cheaper than a four-year university like University of Michigan, Eastern Michigan, Michigan State, or schools like University of Wisconsin, Temple University, Arizona State University, Utah State, University of Utah. All these different universities. It's a lot cheaper to start at community college. It is because almost most any bigger city or cities close to you will have a community college for you to go to. It just depends on where you are located. As a music major, community colleges are kind of tricky because a lot of your music classes you actually take at your community college that you need for your bachelor's degree of music usually don't transfer to your university. There's a couple like music, the 2 semesters of music history, literature you have to take. Those are most definitely usually transfer over. But that's pretty much it. Maybe like saying like a world history or like a world history of music might transfer. Stuff like that would transfer, but like your music theory and all skills that you're going to be taking if you do go that way, or applied music or piano or voice if you're a voice major, or trying to fill some electives as a music major on voice, concert band, symphonic band, jazz band, symphony, orchestra, usually don't transfer over to your 4-year university. They don't. if you do take like your theory and oral skills and piano classes at community college, you can take a placement exam usually when you do transfer into a 4-year university, but those exams are not easy. They want to see what you know and how much of it you know. So sometimes it depends on what you want to do. From what I've learned, the best thing to do if you do go to community college is do something like concert band or symphonic band or orchestra at your school, or choir if you're a voice major. Sorry, no, that's thinking from my experience at my community college, I wasn't in a choir because I wasn't a voice major, so I forgot about it. But being in one of the ensembles of with your instrument, your main instrument that you want to study, maybe look into getting into your applied program, seeing if you can get into it, and just take private lessons through the school with an actual professor or someone who has a degree, probably a master's or higher in performance or on your instrument. That's going to help you know what you need to what to have to audition at when you get to your 4-year university. A solo repertoire piece, scales, and sight reading or sight singing if you're a vocalist. So those are something I would do. Theory, old skills. I might take like a basic musicianship class at community college, just saying a little bit less units than trying to take theory and oral skills, because there's 4 semesters of each of them. Theory 1 through 4, oral skills 1 through 4, and they only offer, usually at most community colleges and universities now, only theory 1 and theory 3 only offer in the fall. Theory 2 and theory 4 only offer in the spring or winter semesters of your college. So it just depends. There's a lot of credits for those 4 classes when you can be getting done with other classes that would actually transfer over. So my suggestion is to go get basic musicianship and learn the basic theory stuff about the circle of fifths, air training, basic training, basic oral skills, all of that. Making sure you know how to read treble, bass, clef, probably some alto clef too. So that kind of stuff, I think that would be more beneficial than you taking all your theory classes at your community college and then going over to your 4-year university and taking the placement exam and not getting placed in a high theory because your theory teacher at your school, at your community college, taught theory differently than theory at your university. It's nothing against your theory teacher you had at your community college or at the university. They just get taught differently. Everyone teaches theory differently, and sometimes people teach theory to a point where some students might not be able to understand what is actually going on in the theory class. So that's all depends on what you want to do at community college. That's one option, and that's getting all your general ed done, like your English writing classes, your math classes, your humanities classes, your social science, language if you didn't get all your language done at your community in high school, getting some your sciences done, or science and a biology or some sort with a lab done, all those kinds of stuff. Art classes. Usually if you're a music major at a university, you can't take music classes for your art classes, so you're going to have to find different art classes. I learned that out. I only took music classes because at my community college, my music classes cover the art classes, so I didn't have to take any other different types of art classes. So now I have to take a couple art classes at my university because I didn't take a different type of arts at my community college. So that's some things you might want to do. Um, yeah, the biggest thing, it's cheaper. It's just way cheaper. Another reason to start at community college because you might not have the money or might not have and be able to get all of the aid you need, like financial aid or scholarships or grants, or get a loan big enough for you to actually go to a four-year university, and you want to get your degree in music, but you need to start at community college, and that's totally fine. I have known many people who've done that, and it's a great way to save money. You can put that money towards other things in the future, and you're building up money, and you're working probably because you need to work. It's just a great thing. Um, so money wise, so yeah, that's a lot. Another reason. If you're going to community college, here are some tips I suggest you to do. First off, I don't think it's very beneficial to get your associate's degree in music all the time, because sometimes it might just take a lot longer than you really need to, because you might have gotten a lot of your general education classes done in high school, especially if you took AP classes. So that might not be a great idea. Just get most of your other general education classes done, so you can save a lot of money and only worry about paying when you're at university for your major classes. That's one thing. One thing. I wouldn't suggest taking theory and all skills. I always say this. I think it's kind of a waste of money and time at times, just because because most universities make you take a placement exam to get into a theory class. They won't just transfer your theory classes over. Same thing with applied music. It's kind of the same thing. So it's like, I do suggest you take at least 1 or 2 semesters of applied music if you can at your university, and be in a performance ensemble. Usually those classes are only one credit or 1 unit classes at a community college, and they're usually at night. So most of the time, if you don't work at night consistently, it shouldn't be a big problem for you to be a part of, and it gives you a good reason to keep going, keep making sure you still practicing often. So another class I'm like, I would say take piano 1, maybe piano 2, but I don't see the whole point of you taking the whole piano cycle at community college at times. For some people, especially if you're not looking at getting your associate's degree, it's kind of a not waste of time. It's just same thing. University is not going to transfer over your piano units or credits over from your community college to the university. They want to know you're able to play piano. So most of the time it depends. So I say take 1 or 2. It will help you with theory when you get into theory at university. It will help you with all skills as well, finding pitches because most of the time when you have dictation exams, it's usually on piano, so you're going to be able to hear more of the natural pitch tendencies. So that's another thing. Because the credits do transfer over, but like the classes I'm talking about, they do transfer over, but they don't at the same time. They don't transfer over as those class units or credits. They transfer over as just basic credits. So, another thing, another tip is take classes that you can have transfer over. So make sure all your general education classes you're taking at your community college transfer over at the university that you want to go to. So, for example, the only reason I know this is because I went to a community college in California. Check off all of the class things. It's something called the IGETC. It's general education classes that you need to have done to transfer over to a California State University or University of California University. So like schools like UCLA, Cal State Northridge, California State University of Northridge. So some people who might not know what Cal State means, but California State University of Northridge, California State University of Sacramento State, University of California, Davis or UC Davis. So all those schools use if you're transferring over from a community college, the IGETC, making see they want to see you got all of those classes done for your general ed, and they will accept all those classes, and you're good. Some other tips I would say: take the music classes you can transfer over, like the music history classes that you need to take the 2 semesters of music literature. I think one's chant. The first semester you start out with chanting all the way up to the Baroque era. Then the second semester goes from classical era all the way to current day, so contemporary music. So I would say take those classes that transfer over. World music, if you need world music, I believe at California State Universities for music majors they do have to take a world history music. I'm not sure, but if you do need to have that class, take it at a community college because it will transfer over. So stuff like that. My biggest tip, if you are going into a community college for any reason, I went to a community college because I have a learning disability and a speech impediment, and I didn't know how well I was going to transfer from high school to a college level. So I needed to start slowly at a college level. So that's what I did. I started at a community college, went there for 3 years. I adapted very well. Then I went to university, and I know for me, if I would have went to university right away, I don't know if I would have the same success as I have now than I have then. If I would have started from high school to a university. So that's what I'm saying. So whatever your reason why you want to go to a community college, remember what I have said. For me, a associate's degree in music is not always the smartest thing to do because sometimes it takes a lot longer than 2 years. My associate's degree in music took me 3 years to get. Making sure if you know that you're not going to get your associate's degree, you're just going to get as much credits as you can so you can transfer over to a university so you don't have to pay as much because you don't want to pay the crazy tuition prices for your general education classes. Making sure those classes you're taking do transfer over. Taking music classes that are going to actually help you, and some of them do transfer over for your majors and you don't have to retake them. So like that, I would say that community college is one of the things that I don't regret for me. It's one of the best things that I made. It saved money. It taught me a lot of things. And I wouldn't be the music student I am now if I didn't went to community college. So if whether you're thinking of going to a community college or a university, just remember what is the best route for you. If you can't afford to go to the university right away and have the money to, I think going to a university right away might be the better choice to get your music degree, because I think you won't have to be at the university. It won't take you as long to get your bachelor's degree in music if you start, unlike if you start at community college and get your bachelor's degree of music that way. That's time wise, but it's also money wise too. What's the best for you? So it's all about what's the best for you. And also, are you ready to get thrown into a college level classes and all of that? I know I wasn't, so that the community college was the best choice for me. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I went to community college. I have learned so much about community college. If I would have known some of the stuff now that I did back then when I started community college, I probably wouldn't have taken as many of the classes as I did, because it actually has going to be taking me longer than 4, 5, 6 years to get my bachelor's degree in music therapy. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all, because I've saved a lot of money just going to my community college for so long to get all of those general education classes done. So it's a matter of what's the best route for you. So thank you for listening to this week's episode of Musician Talk with Grant Johnson. I hope you all have learned about what's the best route for you to study music at the college level. Sorry about that. Excuse me. If you have any questions about studying music at the college level, please reach out to me on Instagram at grant.johnson.music. I am more than willing to talk to you about it. You can hear a new episode of Musician Talk with Grant Johnson on Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you also want to watch my podcast, you also now can watch my podcast on YouTube. On my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Grant Johnson Music. Just like my Instagram, just Grant Johnson Music. Go check it out. I will be putting out videos about music soon. I'm also working on a new project that will be coming out very soon. If you want to be one of the first people to hear about it, go follow my Instagram. I'm going to announce my new project there first. I hope you all have a good rest of your day and stay safe. I'm Grant Johnson. Until next time, bye.